Hey guys, I'm here today with another book review, and today I'll be reviewing Greenlights by Matthew McConaughey. I'm a huge fan, and when I heard about the book, I had to see what it was about. I did not have high expectations going in because I didn't think he was an author, so I just didn't think that I was going to like it very much. But I was a huge fan of the guy, and so I had to check the book out anyways. So yeah, I was really surprised by how much I got out of it. What's Greenlight about? It's the way I see it. It's sort of an unconventional memoir based on Matthew McConaughey's life. Um, he kept journals for 35 years, and as someone who just started keeping journals myself and writing stuff like gratitude lists, I must say to do them consistently for 35 years is really impressive stuff. Anyways, the crazy stories, experiences, and life lessons, some from the journals that he kept, some from his memory, I would imagine, and some from little mementos like bumper stickers. All these were brought together, and that's how this beauty called Green Lights was created. In his words, the book is like a love letter to life and a guide to catching more green lights in the knowledge that the yellows and reds eventually turn green too. Um, in typical memoir and biography fashion, the book starts out with his childhood, and we get a front row seat into how that was, and we are there as the story progresses into his teenage life. Then, obviously, in the later parts, it's about his life as the man we all know about and love at this point. Turns out his life was very different from what I'd imagined it to be going in. And what I mean by this is his family, lifestyle, and his childhood. Firstly, his parents were some like very wild and unpredictable people when it came to their parenting styles. It sort of reminds me of the parents in the Glass Castle book. Can't remember the author. Um, you could see that they loved him, but they taught him things that left you scratching your head thinking that can be right. Surely you're raising someone who's going to be fucked up when they grow up. But he turned out right eventually, probably even more so than someone who might have been raised with the values that people might consider to be more appropriate. And that just taught me about like honesty, the fact that they were open and very honest about their lives to their kids, warts and all, like admitting mistakes, rewarding good behavior, and showing them that they themselves weren't perfect and that life is sort of like a constant journey to become a better version of yourself every day. Um, Secondly, like, well, I sort of knew this, but it surprised me how much of a deep thinker and how spiritual he was. At some point, I felt like it might have been a bit ridiculous, especially the bit about traveling the world because of wet dreams that he had. But he believed in his processes and they worked for him very well, I might add. I mean, he had goals that he wrote out in his journals for different points in his life. And I think he met all of them, if I remember correctly, even goals that I felt might have seemed impossible to him at the time that he wrote them. Well, I guess it might not have been impossible if he wrote them down. It just shows the guy was very ambitious and he really believed in himself. So yeah, reading stuff like that just gives me reason to believe in my own path and like keep moving forward. Another thing I guess that surprised me was the fact that at the point he just traveled around lots in his RV with his dog, sort of just living like a hippie and soaking up knowledge from people he met every day. I'll think that he'd just have a huge mansion in Hollywood somewhere and just chill. Apparently not. Also, him talking about how he got into Hollywood and secured some of the roles for the movies I loved was fascinating. Like his decision not to do any more rom-coms and look for what, in quotes, was more serious roles. Because I remember watching Dallas Buyers Club, True Detectives, and I think that little role he had in Wolf of Wall Street, and thinking, who the hell is this guy? This is someone entirely different. Yeah. So as much as there were things I loved about the book, I think there were some things I couldn't relate with, and I suppose this is expected, seeing as how he is like a 50-something-year-old white dude in a different part of the world with different sets of privileges. Obviously, he's very good looking. Um, but in that, he's still human. And I guess in the fact that he's still human, there's still a lot we share. And ergo, like, there's a lot that is highly relatable and a lot still to be gained from just listening to his successes and challenges, and also share some of the humor in the moments of his life that made him laugh out loud. Um, I loved his work with the audiobook. I totally didn't know he was the bug in Cuba and the Two Strings. I remember watching the movie and thinking, I know this voice, but I can't remember who this is. And when the movie ended, I never bothered to check the cast. So when he mentioned it in the book, I was like, yeah, I recognize that voice. Anyways, went on a bit of a tangent there. Yeah, he narrated the audiobook, and besides all the gems that he was laying on us and how insightful the book was, it was just highly fun and entertaining. You know how he riffs, like how he talks. Like he talks real slow, then fast, then slow again, then fast. Like that's the same way he narrates the book. It was really, really fun. So I 100% recommend that you experience it that way if you can. Yeah, I rated it for over five. I'm pretty liberal with my ratings, as you know. I really enjoyed it. I don't usually do rereads, but I think I might go back to this one and maybe perhaps not read it entirely as a whole, but like just consume a few nuggets here and there. Perhaps when I'm at a red or yellow light in my life, just to remind me that they'll eventually turn green again. So yeah, peace. That's all I have for today.